There you go. Hello, folks. I hope you guys be taking care of yourself. And today I'm going to deliver this presentation about natural law. What is natural law? I'm going to be talking about what natural law is, and the title of this presentation is "Natural Law is the Key to True Freedom." Very important. This is probably one of the most important video that humanity need to understand if we want to be free as a species, because we are currently enslaved, unfortunately. So we need to understand what natural law is, and so let's get into it. What is natural law? Many people have the very wrong idea, wrong connotation about what natural law is. So I'm going to clarify and explain what natural law is for the viewing audience. Natural law is a set of universal inherent means it's not a man construct. It's created into creation. It's what it is in creation. Okay. Objective, which means it's not based on perception or subjectivity or based on emotion of human beings or anyone. It's influenced. Okay. It's not influenced by anyone. It's objective, is the way it is. Non-man-made. Non-man-made, it means created by God. Okay. Is by created by creation by God, which is non-human entity. Obviously, it's not created by human beings and etc. etc. It's eternal. It's infinite. Okay, and immutable. You can't change that. Okay, that's what immutable means. You can't change that. Condition which govern the consequences of behaviors of beings with the capacity of for understanding the difference between harmful and non-harmful behavior. It means when it says behaviors of beings with the capacity of for understanding, it means beings who have the capacity to understand with the capacity of holistic intelligence, like human beings. It does not apply to animals. So people, when people talking about, as we're gonna see in many other slides, people talking about why natural law does not apply to animals, because animals don't have the capacity to understand natural, because they don't have holistic intelligence. Their behavior are based into instinctual behavior. So that's what sets apart humanity from the animal kingdom or plants kingdom or other forms of life. You know what I'm saying? People need to understand this. And between harmful and non-harmful behavior. Harmful behavior means wrong behavior. Harmful behavior means wrong behavior, immoral behavior, and non-harmful behavior means right behavior. The understanding of natural law is centered upon bringing our own conscience into alignment with objective morality. Okay, this means definitely knowing which behaviors are rights because they do not cause harm to other sentient beings including animals. Okay, and which behaviors are wrongs because they do cause harm to other sentient beings. That's what natural law means. Okay, that's the definition of natural law. When human beings in the aggregate live in harmony with natural law and are therefore moral, they become and remain free. Okay, and which is true. Very reason why we are enslaved as a species, because we are not a moral species, as we're gonna see in moving forward with the slides. When human beings in the aggregate live in opposition to natural law and they are therefore immoral, they become and remain enslaved. So they become enslaved and they remain enslaved if you are immoral as a species. Okay. We can call it the law of freedom, natural law. Okay, as aggregate morality increases, aggregate freedom increases. So the more moral the society becomes, the more free it becomes. As aggregate morality declines, aggregate freedom declines. So you become more enslaved. If you are a moral society, if you do things that you shouldn't be doing, immoral behaviors that cause harm to other sentient beings. Okay, let's define what natural means. Okay, natural. The definition of natural is pretty simple. Most people don't get it. They, as soon as they hear natural, they equate that to the bullshit version of the Darwinian evolution theory, well, natural, the natural selection. When in point of fact, that's not what natural means. Okay, natural means inherent to creation. It means it's not modified by man. Okay, it grew in nature, in creation. Okay, done by creator of the universe, having inherent, having a basis in nature, reality, and truth, not made or caused by humankind. Okay, law, you can call it principle of natural law. Law is an existing condition which is binding and immutable, cannot be changed. People will say natural law is like is not used for our beneficial, which is not true. It is for our beneficial. It's there to create care, is there to create order and prosperity align if we align our behaviors to it. If you we have the free will to not align our behavior in to natural law, but it will result to bad consequences for us, which means we're gonna be enslaved as a species. Okay, we have the free will component, which is the random component of the left brain um, methodology, and then you have the predetermined version, which is natural law. Natural law is the predeterministic component of creation. Okay, yeah, we have the free will to behave whatever we want, but we have the consequences for our behaviors. Okay, so let's look at the etymological root of the word natural. The English word natural is etymologically derived from the ancient Egyptian word netar, meaning God, symbolized hierogly- hieroglyphically as a simple stylized flag on a pole. You see the image of the flag on the pole, which is actually which is the symbol that you see the judges they have, which means God, the supreme authority. That's what it is, which represent a force which was known to exist through its observable effects, but difficult or impossible to see with an eye. Nature, NTR, which is nature, was actually pronounced nature, extremely close to the English pronunciation of nature. So that's what natural means, all from relating to God. Okay, let's move to the next slide. The expressions and concept of natural law, which is right versus wrong. Let's look at right first. Right means correct, based in truth. Okay, moral, in harmony with natural law, which means it does not cause any harm to anyone. Okay, action based in the action based in it does not result in harm to all the sentient beings. Okay, that's what right behavior is, and we have to be morally good in order to be free. Wrong means incorrect, not based in truth. It's based on lie, deception, and harmful behavior, and which is immoral. Okay, in opposition to natural law. Action based in it result in harm to other sentient beings. Okay, that's what it is. And then you have natural law expressions, positive expression, generative polarity. What we use to create love for the positive, and then initiating expression, which is knowledge, acceptance of truth. Okay. Then you have internal expression when it comes to positive sovereignty, which means internal monarchy. Monarchy means one ruler. We have to rule ourselves. Okay. And then you have the external expression, freedom, external anarchy. Anarchy means no rulers, therefore no slaves. It does not mean no rules like the fucking media will tell you. Okay, it means external manifestation. You can say what happens in the society. External expression is freedom, which is the positive expression. External anarchy. Okay, the condition that we all should be living if we want to be free. You're not gonna be free if you have government. Okay, period. It ain't gonna happen. If you think you're gonna be free if you have government, you're wrong. You're delusional. And then finally is the manifestation, the result that we create. Order, manifested good. Okay, and then you have negative, um, fear, generative polarity, fear, which is the negative force, and then you have initiating expression, which is if you have fear, it will lead to ignorance. You're gonna be ignorant if you're fearful because you're ignorant. People are ignorant because they are fearful of the unknown. All right, and then you have confusion. Ignorance leads to confusion. You're not focused, you're not paying attention. Okay, you don't have the logic put together, which leads to control. Okay, confusion is the internal anarchy when it's manifesting the negative realm. Okay, and which leads to control, which is external monarchy. Okay, which is government, slavery, any form of government or authority, kingship, whatever you're gonna call it, is which leads to control system, and then the manifestation, the result we create, which is chaos. Okay, this is what many religion in the fake version of Christianity, Islam, Judaism will not teach you. They will say, "Oh, this is evil. We're not supposed to know all of this." Yeah. When in point of fact, if you look at the original version of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the true core version of so-called religion, this philosophy, they talk about what I'm saying now. The priest class who runs this planet don't want people to know what I'm talking about now. So they're giving you a lot of the astrotheological and dogmatic belief system s- called exoteric version. Okay, so don't want people to look at what I'm saying now. Okay, so let's move into the next slide. Natural law, known as law of cause and effect. Effect is invariably follows cause. Effect invariably follows cause. For every action, there exists an equal and opposing reaction. It means whatever you cause, you're gonna have a consequences what you do. Period. That's how creation works. Okay, that's what God, the true creator of the universe, the true creator of creation, who create everything, put this law into affection. Okay, whatever you do, no matter what, you're gonna have an effect. You do a good behavior, moral behavior, you're gonna have abundance coming to you and to society. If the society behaves morally as an aggregate, okay. Then you have the law of attraction, the real law of attraction, not the bullshit law of attraction that you have in the New Age movement, garbage movement put there by the Satanists who run this planet. Okay, the energy you emitting is the energy you attract. Energy flows where attention goes. Okay, as you think, feel, and act, so you shall be. Okay. Then you have karma or moral law. You reap what you sow. Okay, that's karma. In other in other words, is what you do to other people is what's gonna be happening to you. The result is the same law of cause of effect. The cause and effect. Sorry. Then you have the golden rule, which is what we see in the Christian, the real Christian tradition, philosophy, which predates the organized version of Christianity that people worship today. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have done to yourself. So, in other words, treat others as you would like to be treated. All right. So if you want to be treated good, respectfully, and morally, so treat other people the same thing. Treat other people morally, respectfully, and good. So let's get to to the next slides. Natural law versus man's law. Okay, I see a lot. I hear a lot of people having a misconception about natural law with common law. Okay, common law is not natural law and is not the solution. Okay, especially a lot of people here in the freedom movement in England talking about common law being the answer. Common law is man's law. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's good, it's still slavery because it's based on man's law. Okay, let's clarify this. Natural law, based upon principle and truth inherent to creation. Okay, is harmonized with due to knowledge and understanding. It's universal, so it exists and applies anywhere in the universe, regardless of the location. Natural law, you need to understand, is a inherent principle of truth that God itself, this force, this being, this intelligent being, okay, the creator, this almighty force created itself, applied and put into universe, okay, everywhere. That's what you need to understand what natural law is. Eternal and immutable. You can't change that. It's everywhere. It's in infinite, no matter where, no matter where. You can't change that. There's not. That's why, as I'm going to explain what man's law is. Man cannot change natural law, no matter how. What you write on a piece of paper is irrelevant. You put that in the bin, okay, in the garbage bin, okay. So let's see, eternal and immutable exists and applies for as long as the universe exists, and it cannot be changed. All right. And let's look at manslaughter. Manslaughter is based on upon dogmatic beliefs, construct of the mind. That's why we have government and religious dogmatic beliefs like religion. They're fake ass version of Christianity, Judaism, um, Islam, all the religious belief system based on money, government, the authority, scientism, carnism, um, moral relativism, all these dogmatic belief systems are based on man's law. Period. The construct that man, human being, give to other people to make other people compliant and subservient to authority. Comply with due to fear of punishment. The very reason why humanity is enslaved and people abide to authority, and it makes easier for the ruler of this planet to control people the way they're doing it, is because people are scared to be punished. That's why they're complying to the system of slavery that we live in. People do immoral behaviors due to the fear of punishment according to man's law. That's why people pay taxes, because they're scared they're gonna be put in jail. You know what I'm saying? Etc. etc. And people who don't want to buy into this shit are going to be they're gonna have to comply to the system, because all the people, majority of the people comply and believe this shit. You know what I'm saying? And differs with location based upon the whim of the legislators, which is moral relativism, basically. Basically, man's law is based on moral relativism, which is a tenet of Satanism, as we're gonna see in the future slides. You know, based on moral relativism. Okay, and that's why you have manslaughter. Okay, based on moral relatives that we can change, we can turn rights that are inherent to creation that do not cause harm to anyone, to any sentient beings. We can turn them into wrongs, and wrongs that are inherently wrong action that cause harm to other sentient beings. We can turn them into rights. That's what moral relativism, which is a mindset, which is a tenets of Satanism, okay, is a satanic idea. Changes with time based upon the whim of the legislator, which is moral relativism, as well as I talked about. Then let's move to the next slide. We have force versus violence. A lot of people still don't understand what force and violence is. They confuse the two things. Okay, I'm going to explain what the difference between force and violence. The capacity to do work or cause physical change, energy, strength, and active power. Okay, force is basically when somebody initiate harms against you, you have the force and the right to defend yourself by any force, because you are in the right, and is based on morality and natural law. That's what force is a voluntary action based on in morality and natural law, action which one always possesses the right to take, including defend oneself against violence with by any means, whether it's with guns or knife, whatever uh, object that can stop the violent act made upon you. Okay, it does not violate another natural law rights force. And then you have violence. Violence is the immoral use of physical power, force to coerce and compel or restrain. In other words, is what the police and the military do. They're violent people. People who believe in government are violent people. They believe in violence and coercion. Okay, and dumb bags of shit of human beings support the violent system of slavery that we all living under right now, unfortunately, and they're happy about it. Can you believe this shit? And then you have which is the initiation and use of coercive action, which is not based in morality and natural law. Okay, violence is a transgression against natural law because it leads to immoral behavior, which are violent, which are behaviors based in violence. Okay, action which no one ever possessed the right to take because you initiating harm to against another one. Okay, that's why it matters who initiates the 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 harm against. Okay, if somebody initiates harm against you, you have the right to defend yourself. That's what religion, and including all the bullshit religion and the new age movement don't teach you about. They don't teach you. They teach you to be subservient to authority, buy into the garbage program system, and don't react to evil. Okay, just pray, and somebody's gonna take care of that for you instead of you taking real action up against evil and violence. And then you have the last point always involves the violation of another's natural law rights. Okay, that's what violence is. So let's move to the next slide, which is occult. The occult forces are working in the universe. You can replace universe with creation. It doesn't matter. Or God, it's the same thing. Whatever you wanna call it. You have the good force, which is the force of natural law, evolution or syntropy. This, which is creation, advancement, complexity, diversity, truth, wisdom, consciousness or awareness, goodness, morality, freedom, life, survival, order, prosperity, everything that is positive, let's say. And then you have the involution of syntropy or entropy, sorry, excuse me. Involution or entropy, which is what Satanism is all about, okay? Which is the society that we live in right now, which is the worship of the forces the force of involution and entropy, which is degeneration, stagnation. Stagnation is something that does not move, it does not progress. That's what stagnation is. It's not moving anywhere. Simplicity, okay, uniformity, ignorance, deception, unconsciousness, unawareness, you can call it, evil, immorality, slavery, death, and extinction and chaos. Okay, very important to understand these occult forces. You can call it the force of good and evil. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Next slide. The principles of natural law. You have seven principles of natural, the which are known also as the Hermetic principle. Okay, you have the principle of mentalism, which means everything comes from the mind. The mind it starts from is everything starts from the mind. That's why the three aspects of human's consciousness, okay, is mind, care, and action. Thoughts, emotion, and action. Okay, so it always starts from the mind, from the brain, which is the most important organ and muscle in human physiology, along with the heart. Okay, mind. That is why the social engineer are able to do what they're doing, and the social engineer are evil human psychologists who understand how to manipulate the human mind, okay? Which is what Satanists are, okay? That is why we have government. Government means, if you understand the etymology of the word government means literally means mind control. In order to control the emotion of people, they have to control the mind. They have to put garbage and erroneous dogmatic belief system in people's mind so they can control their emotion and action to make them compliant to the system of slavery. And then you have the principle of correspondence, which is basically the which states as above as below, okay? And then you have the principle of vibration, which means everything is energy. Let's say again, that is not a new age bullshit concept. Okay, it's not, that's not a new age concept. That's a real concept. Okay, it means that everything is moving, constantly moving. Even though you see solid matter, if you deeply analyze, there are particles moving in a solidified matter object. Okay, everything is energy. That's what it means. It's moving. It's constant moving. And then you have then you have the principle of polarity. Okay, and which means basically you have like an example of polarity: cold and hot. Okay, dark and light, which is actually the absence of light. Okay, of the good thing. That's why you have the negative manifestation, the negative forces happening. For example, I make an example of the principle of polarity. Let's say, for example, the very reason why it's darker at night is because there is the absence of light. Okay, there's no sun anywhere. There's not the light. That's why it's dark. Darkness itself, it does not exist. Okay, it's because it's the absence of light. Okay, same thing with cold temperature. When it's cold outside, is because there is no light and the temperature. Therefore, if there is not enough light, there is no warmth. Okay, that's why it leads to cold temperature outside. Okay, and then you have the principle of rhythm. Then you have the principle of cause and effect, as I talked about in the previous slides. And then you have the principle of gender. Principle of gender is basically anyone, every human being. Okay, whether you're a male and or a female, you have masculine and feminine aspects in you, whether you're a man or you're a woman. Okay, this is how the human brain, if you understand psychology, you'll understand what I'm saying with the principle of gender. Okay, let's go to the next slides. You have the two main pillars of enlightenment of natural law. Okay, which is the first one is the sacred feminine non-aggression of principle, the non-aggression principle. Okay, do not ever initiate harm against anyone, against any sentient being. Okay, the first pillar of enlightenment is the sacred feminine principle, also called the non-aggression principle. Okay, this principle states do not engage in violence. Okay, in other words, do not immorally initiate non-rightful use of physical power to coerce, constrain, or compel the rightful physical behavior or free will choice of another sentient being. Do you understand? Okay, do not ever initiate harm or immoral behavior against another being. Okay, once someone initiated harm against another sentient being, the sentient being who had its free will coerced has the right to defend itself. Okay, which leads to the second pillar of enlightenment, which is the sacred masculine principle, which is the principle of self-defense. Okay, this principle states sentient beings have the inherent right to use force to defend themselves from violence conducted upon them by another. Okay, that is why it's very important to have firearms, guns, or any. You have the right to defend yourself by any means. Okay, guns, knife, it doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you are in the right, you have the right to defend yourself. As long as someone's initiated harm against you, you have the right to defend yourself by any means, any force, any amount of force. Okay, including deadly weapons. Yes. Okay, man's law is bullshit, is irrelevant. The legal system, the court system, the judicial system is nonsense. Okay, if somebody comes in your house and some burglars comes in your house, start to they will try to enter into your property and take away some of your property that you rightfully owned and acquired. You have the right to put down the threat and kill that person who entered your house. Yes, that's what the principle of self-defense is all about. It doesn't matter. You can take a machete and cut his head off because you're in the right, and that person did not have the right to perform that action. Okay, this is this that is why that is why people in many countries, especially here in the UK, unfortunately in Europe, they have the guns taken away because they don't understand the principle of self-defense. You know, it's very important to understand this. Let's go to the next slide. Transgressions against natural law. The true seven deadly sins. Okay, not the bullshit version that Christianity, the church, the Vatican put out to the masses, and the people buy into it. The first transgression is murder, taking without just cause the life of another which does not belong to you. Okay, you killing someone, you stealing life to another sentient being. That is why also killing animals is a transgression of natural law because you're killing sentient beings. Okay, that is why it's not good to eat animal flesh or killing animals because they're sentient beings. Okay, you have assault, taking without just cause another's physical well-being, which does not belong to you. You harming another physical well-being of another being. Okay, when you're assaulting someone. Rape, taking another's free will sexual consent, which does not belong to you. It means basically if someone does not want to have a sexual relationship with you, don't force that. Okay, whether he's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. If that person say I don't want to have a sexual relationship with you, don't force that person to have a sexual relationship with you, period. Okay, then you have theft, taking property which does not belong to you. Another another way, don't steal. Don't fucking steal for anyone. Okay? That's what taxation is. They're stealing the inherent right of people to create a labor for themselves, to take care of self, to take care of themselves. Okay? That's what taxation is. It's theft. And people don't understand this shit. You have trespass, which means taking security in another dwelling place, which does not belong to you. Another, don't invade someone else's property. Okay? Then you have coercion, taking another's free will, which does not belong to you, which means conducting violent behavior, harming another behavior, another conducting a harmful behavior against another sentient being. That's what coercion is. Okay, lying at the end, at last, lying, taking another's ability to engage in informed decision making, which does not belong to you. Purpose, I should say, we need to we need to delineate when we talk about lying. Lying is an action, basically lying when causing harm to other beings is a transgression against natural law. Not being honest, okay? For example, the media are paid prostitutes, liars, and they are causing harm to other beings because they are putting a lot of misinformation, which will lead to more suffering uh, and more chaos and disorder in in society. That is why they're gonna be held accountable into creation for what they're doing. The media, okay, the media, the anchors, they're working in the media corporation and so-called journalists. Let's go to the next slides. Vices are not sins or transgressions. Okay, there is a difference between vices and transgressions. Okay, vices are bad things, but as long as it does not harm anyone, isn't they're not considered sins or transgressions. Okay, pride, be prideful. It's a vices, which means be too egotistic. As long as you're not harming anyone, that's fine. There's nothing wrong to be prideful. Invite, the same thing. You can be envious, you can be jealous, but don't harm other beings. Okay, gluttony, same thing. Lust, the same thing as well. As long as you don't harm anyone, that's fine. You improve and try not to let these vices taking over you. Yes, definitely, but they're not transgressional sins. Okay, anger, well, this is different. When it comes to righteous anger about immoral behaviors done unto you, you have the right to be angry about it. For example, being angry about the condition of slavery that we're living under, that's righteous anger. Okay, unjustified anger, which is out of control anger that is not justifiable, which is nonsense, that's not good. But again, it's not a transgression or a sin against natural law. Okay, greed, yes. If you are greedy but you don't cause harm to other beings, which is which is kind of weird in at itself, is it's not a sin or transgression as long as you're not harming anyone else. You know what I'm saying? And then you have sloth as well. All these are religious programming put by the Vatican and the Church. Okay, and the so-called Christian think that those are the sins, the seven deadly sins, garbage. Okay, you know what it is incorrect. Okay, those are not transgression against natural law. Let's move to the next slide. Understanding sovereignty. Once you understand natural law, you'll understand your own sovereignty. What are you understand what you are? Sovereign means the word sovereign is derived from the Latin adverb super, means above, and the Latin noun regnum, which means rulership, control. Thus, sovereign means one who is above the rulership or control of another. It means you're not a slave, okay? Sovereign means you're not a subject or a slave. That's what sovereign means, okay? Which means basically self ownership, internal monarchy. Monarch, as I talked about in previous slide, means one ruler. Let's go to the next slide. What natural law is not. Okay? Like I said in the first few slides, I was talking about what most people unfortunately mistaken for natural law. Natural law has nothing to do with the natural selection of the Darwinian theories regarding microbiological evolution. Okay, a lot of people in the freedom movement believe this shit. Can you believe that? It's nonsense, garbage. Okay, and then it has nothing to do with the Darwinian notion of the survival of the fittest. Okay, it has nothing to do with all that social Darwinism, all that nonsense. Okay, don't ever equate natural law with this shit because you are a Satanist scumbag if you do that. Okay, you're an ignorant scumbag. It has nothing to do with the so-called law of the jungle, okay? Or the so-called natural order or natural selection, whatever. It has nothing to do with any aspect of behavior in the entire animal kingdom. For any creature with less cognitive development and capabilities than a human being. Basically, it has nothing to do with applying animal behaviors to human into the human domain. Okay, it has nothing to do with natural law. Okay, natural law has nothing to do with that. Period. Put that shit in your head. Okay. And lastly, he has nothing to do with any or every human man-made law, including common law. Okay, natural law is not common law. Common law is not the route to freedom. Okay, even though sorry, it may start with good intention, but it's still man's law. Period. Let's go to the next slide. um, why is humanity currently enslaved? Humanity is currently enslaved because he accepts that which isn't true and rejects that which is true. That is why we are enslaved as a species, because people accept these four main tenets of Satanism, which are put by the social engineers. They want people to have a satanic mindset, which is in opposition with natural law and the law of creation. The four main tenets of modern Satanism: egotism, which is pure ego out of control. Okay, Service to self and is life's highest goal. Be selfish, thinking about yourself. Couldn't give a shit about anyone, anyone else, and suffering. That's what egotism is. Okay, that's what Satanism is. It's not the so-called worship of the devil, like a lot of fake ass religion, Christians or Islam and Judaism will tell you it is. It's not. It has nothing to do with that. They want you to think that it's all about worshiping the devil. So you never understand what Satanism is. So you will never understand the mindset of the people who runs this planet and how you gonna be able to free yourself from the mindset that you live in. That is why they are successful at controlling people and enslaving humanity. The second tenet of Satan is moral relativism, which is the direct opposition of natural law, like as I explained in the previous slides, which is right or wrong are whatever human beings say they are, which means they are subjective. There's not a objective right or wrong standard. And then with third tenets, which brings to social Darwinism, as I talked about in the previous slides, what natural law is not. Social Darwinism is the idea that the most dominant and cruel humans should become the masters and rule humanity. Okay, which is applying animalistic behaviors into the human domain. We are not fucking animals, so you can't do this shit. That's what people don't understand. A lot of people in the so-called freedom movement and freedom movement fucking anywhere, okay, believe that yeah, we should have a natural order. Yeah, the ruler should control all the beings. That's what government is all about. Okay, and you want to be free, man, please. Which leads to eugenics and epi-eugenics. The masters should determine who is allowed to live and who must die. That's what the root of all totalitarian regime, whether it's national socialism, fascism, communism, okay, are based upon. They are based on the idea of Satanism. They're based on the four main tenets of Satanism. Okay, last slides. Very reason why humanity is enslaved as well. The fall of the republic. Okay, here I put this slide to make an example of the United States when we talk about republic, but uh, it's obviously for everyone, for every nation on earth. Let's read this quote. Because choice is subsequent to a judgment upon the truth of the matter presented, is an immutably true principle that human liberty depends entirely upon judgments which conform to natural law. If a judgment which does not conform to natural law, which is therefore objectively false and immoral, is acted upon by the will, then it will become a source of grave disorder in society. Powerful sentence. Exponentially multiply these numbers of individual immoral acts, and you have a republic that collapses from moral decay in a short period of time. 100% true. Correct statement. Okay, is is the same thing as I talked about in the previous slide. The more a society becomes immoral, the more the society becomes enslaved. Okay? The more a society becomes moral and aligns its behaviors to natural law, the more that society becomes freer. Period. Living in opposition to natural law leads to control, enslavement, poverty, war, evolutionary stagnation, and extinction. That's what we're adding as a species, unfortunately, humanity, because we are an immoral species, because we not understanding the principle of natural law. We don't understand the objective truth between right or wrong behavior. We are a moral relativist society. Let's bring to the next slides. Natural law is the key to freedom. Okay, and you see the image. Understanding natural law and aligning our behavior to it will lead to unimaginable freedom, peace, prosperity, survival, and evolutionary progress. We probably become a type 1 or type 2 or type 3 civilization. Okay, with high level technology, prosperity for everyone, no suffering, basically heaven on earth. And it is possible to achieve that. Okay, the bullshit religion will tell you, oh no, it's not possible to achieve this shit, to achieve this. When in point of fact, it is. Okay, and the atheists, the so-called social Darwinists, okay, will tell you, oh, it's not possible because of the genes of humanity, because we're imperfect beings. Yeah, you're full of fucking shit. Both scientists and atheists and religionists. Okay, yes, we can achieve freedom and heaven on earth, which brings to the slavery of humanity is the problem. Living according to natural law is the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want to become a free society and end human slavery, we need to understand natural law. We need to teach that to the young, to the youth. Okay, we need to teach that to people. We need to spread the word to other people, understanding the objective difference between right and wrong behavior, and align to our behavior to it. Okay, and we need to understand what the occult is. Okay. That's all for today, folks. This is the end of the presentation. There you go. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Okay, I'll see you next time. Y'all take care.